You're such a showman.
I gotta shine the bling. You know what I'm saying?
You're such a showman.
I love Eagles football in early February.
You're such a
There's nothing
showman,
like
dude.
it. There's nothing like it. It's different. It's what the shirt says. Different, not the same as another or each other. Distinct, independent. It is indeed independent from any other time of the year.
Agreed.
What's going on, y'all? It's another day on the Day One podcast. I'm your co-host Anthony. Name in the bubble. I got my co-host Kyle. Finally back. Say what's up.
What's happening, y'all? Finally back, bro. You did a show 2 days ago. I missed it. We did a show like Friday. We're good.
Hey,
Good.
back
It's
like you never
Tuesday.
left.
It's Tuesday, dude. Calm down.
Bro, I just listen. It's gonna be the longest 2 weeks of my life. I'm telling you, but
Facts.
um, so got a jam-packed pod for you.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff to talk about. Hopefully, we can get through this in like a decent amount of time. We're talking about LeBron on his way, very very close to doing the unthinkable, making a forever record. Um, we're also gonna get Kyle's thoughts on these AFC NFC Championship games. Talk my shit a little bit more. Some coaching news. The coaching carousel is begun. It's in full effect. Some Pro Bowl fillers because some people don't want to show up. I get it. And then we'll cap it off with a little initial thoughts from you for the big game in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. Packed show. Wouldn't be surprised if it took us 2 hours because I got a lot of fucking aggravating things
Yeah,
going on in my head.
I hope it doesn't. But all right. Well, let's get right into it. So LeBron is 117 points away from breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. But no one wants to talk about it.
No one. Nope. Nope. And like I'm not a big I keep saying this, I feel like every show, and I always refer to this guy, but I'm not a big sports TV like show, like first take, first things first type guy. I'm not a huge guy when it comes to that stuff. I feel like they gloss over a lot of important shit happening, and there's no like real talk about the sports. But Nick Wright seems to be the only person talking about it, the only person that cares, and I respect him for it. You know, I think he's me on television, genuinely. Like every time I watch him, but no, yeah, LeBron 117 points away. That's say he scores 30 in his next four, he's going to break it in 4 games, and he's averaging 30.3.
Yeah, I mean, for him to get the Lakers in somewhat of a discussion for the playoffs, he's had to average over 30 in this stretch. So yeah, he's looking to break it like ASAP.
Yeah, I mean they're only two and a half games out of the 10 seed, which is bad, but it is what it is. But nah, dude, I hope everyone appreciates LeBron because there's so many old heads, dude. I'm tired of the old heads. Charles Barkley, fucking, all these old ass heads that keep clinging to their childhood memories of Michael Jordan. I've seen the film. I watched it. It's available. Okay? I've seen all the great moments. Okay?
We've seen the documentary.
If LeBron passes Kareem and you still don't want to say he's the GOAT, I get it. What the fuck are people going to say when he's retiring at 45,000 points? Maybe he gets another ring, but let's say it's 4 NBA Finals, 4 Finals MVPs, and what? 4 MVPs? I think it's 2 in Cleveland, 2 in Miami.
I think so.
Cool. But like he's also going to pass Chris Paul in the all-time assists thing. Tonight, if he has 9 assists tonight, he'll be 4th. He'll pass Mark Jackson, and Steve Nash tonight if he has 9 assists.
Yeah.
For 4th. I believe that's behind Stockton, Kidd, and Chris Paul.
Yeah. Wow.
So
he's one of a kind. He's a
yeah.
rare breed.
And I think I might be wrong, but I think he's either super close or he is top 10 in rebounds.
I think he is top 10 in rebounds. Let me double check.
He might be. There's a chance he gets top 5. I know that for sure. If he plays till when he says he's going to play. But no, like everyone's talking about how like just no one cares, and it pisses me off. It pisses me off that all these old shits constantly want to bring up, well, Michael Jordan went 6 for 6. I'm tired of that argument. I'm fucking tired of it.
Yeah, it's more than just the finals record. I think that's just like a get off my lawn boomer argument. So I looked it up here. So LeBron James is currently 32nd all time in rebounds at 10,550. He's about 300, a little under 300 behind Jack Sikma for 31 at 10,816. Bill Bridges 11,054 for 30th.
How far is he from 10?
Top 10, Dwight Howard has 14,627. So he's got some rebounds to grab to get up to top 10.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought he was much closer than that. There's something else he's close on, but no, like I'm a Warriors fan, so I was built to despise LeBron, but I don't. Like,
is it blocks? No,
it's not blocks. I don't think it's steals either. But I don't know. I thought he was a lot closer to rebounds, but still, you know what I'm saying? He's the first 30, 10, 30, 30K, 10K, 10K guy. And there probably will never be another one unless Russ plays another 45 years.
He's not going to.
Or Jokic. Jokic has a
That's
possibility.
True. That's a good one right there. But
yeah,
Jokic is not LeBron.
No, they're not. And Jokic has a lot of points to score. He'll probably get the 10K, but not the 30K.
Yeah.
Like Steph has been crazy for 10 years now, and he's still only at like 22,000. So, but no, I'm just tired of all the LeBron slander, the LeBron hate, because there's very soon there's going to be a time where we're not going to be able to watch him anymore.
Yeah.
He's going to disappear. He doesn't want to be in media. He doesn't want to be doing any of that shit. Yep. So he's going to be gone. It's going to be a lot like when Kobe retired. Kobe was around, but not like,
He was doing a lot of other stuff, and I think that's what LeBron's going to do more than likely.
Yeah. He wants to own a team, but even owning a team, it's not like you're in the media much. Mark Cuban's a loud-ass motherfucker as an owner. We don't hear much from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He's my GOAT. He'll always be my GOAT. He was my GOAT when he beat the Warriors in 2016, 2017.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what cemented it for me for LeBron to be the GOAT after coming back 3-1. And for him to be where he is in all these statistical categories, like top 10, top 5, it has to speak for something, not just the finals record, but why are you going to penalize him for getting to the finals so much? Like that's a hard thing to do.
Like, and a lot of arguments that people make with LeBron is like, no, and for some reason, everyone will have like one argument for LeBron. Nobody will pull them all together and say all these things are why. They always point to one thing.
Yeah.
With LeBron. He's going to be number one in points by 6,000 maybe if he gets to 45, 7,000, which I think he will, because, I mean, the dude's going to be able to score. He's always going to be able to score. It's not like the dude's going to get slower. You know what I mean? His shooting percentages might go down, but he's not going to get less strong. He's going to be the same guy for the next at least 3 years, I'd say. So he's going to be able to score. You're going to see a drop off defensively, maybe rebounding, things like that. But he's always going to be able to score. And he's been working on his 3 and his mid-range. So he's going to keep scoring. That's one that he's going to be all-time by a lot. Top 5 in assists is gonna happen.
He's always been a playmaker with
yeah,
getting people the ball and stuff. So yeah.
And that's another argument. Scoring is not his primary ability. It's passing.
Yep.
He's gonna go. In my opinion, he's gonna go down as the greatest passer to ever live. When it comes to not necessarily the flashiness or the numbers, it's the effectiveness,
IQ,
the effectiveness of
efficiency.
the pass. The
Right.
effectiveness of the pass. He does.
No, I agree. He's damn good with the ball and how he sees the court.
Yes.
Yeah, put some respect on LeBron's name. This is a once in a lifetime feat.
And the other thing he did too, Michael Jordan, after 3 finals, had to take a break. He had to stop playing. What did LeBron do? He went to 3 straight, and then he went to 6 more after that.
Yep.
So, like, did he win? No, but he still did. That finals run accounted for 2 extra seasons of basketball.
Yeah.
He's
that's
got the
insane.
He's currently has played the most minutes all time by a lot. And he's still averaging 30 points a game in his 20th season. Kareem was averaging like 14.
It's ridiculous.
As like a role player.
That is ridiculous.
No, and no one will bring all these arguments together and say this is why. What do people point to with Michael? He's 6-0. Okay. He's got 5 MVPs. Okay. There's no thing that Michael has that's the best.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Because you look at 6-0. Well, what about Bill Russell?
He's 11-0.
Yeah.
What? Okay. People say he's the greatest scorer ever, so he must be the all-time points leader. No, that's LeBron. Okay. He must be the greatest defender of all time. No, that's Bill Russell. Okay. Well, he must have won the most championships. No, that's Bill Russell. He must. He must have played the most and never stopped. No, he retired twice before, and he played again. So he retired 3 times total.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to say, well, Michael's a better mid-range scorer than LeBron. Cool. You can't tell me that Michael Jordan is better at LeBron than anything else. Couldn't pass for shit. LeBron's a better shooter, better at the rim. I think versatility and guarding multiple positions, LeBron is better. Controlling a game, LeBron is better because he can do it with the pass too. Yep. So, I mean, people need to lock in because it's only going to, dude, there's going to be a Super Bowl and LeBron James breaking the record in the same week.
Yeah. History.
We're about to see 2 historic things happen.
Yep.
Whether it be, Jalen getting a ring, or we are going to see 2 historic things. 2 black quarterbacks going up against each other for the first time ever in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And we're going to see LeBron James pass Kareem. And maybe football's clouding over it a little bit. Steph Curry broke the all-time record when football was going on.
Yeah.
I believe it was playoff football that he broke it right around this time.
Mm-hmm. In the Garden.
Yeah. So I'm getting really tired of LeBron slander. If I have to die on the hill saying that he's the greatest basketball player of all time for the rest of my life, I will. I don't care if Luka scores 60,000 points, has 80,000 rebounds, and 80,000 assists.
He doesn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn. This entire program will die on that hill because I agree.
Yeah. So
I've been saying it since he beat them 3-1 in the 2016 finals.
And you know what we need to do? Every pod up until he breaks it, and one pod after he breaks it, we're going to talk about it because no one else is.
Exactly.
Okay. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because no one's talking about it and it should be celebrated. At least, I feel like Kobe passing Michael was more talked about than LeBron being number 1.
Yeah. Well, I
Michael
mean,
wasn't number one.
you look, yeah, I
So,
mean, you look at the relationship between Kobe and Michael, and also Michael being Michael. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
yeah.
But this is a huge deal.
I
I
hope
mean,
that when
you're
he
passing the
retires,
all-time leading scorer in league history.
yeah,
That does not happen every year.
because like, I mean, in football, I think Super Bowls matter a lot. Obviously, Tom Brady winning 7,
Yeah.
but like other sports, no one talks about who's got the most World Cups, and no one talks about who's got the most World Series rings
Or the most Stanley Cups.
or the most Stanley Cups. No one talks about that. You
Yeah.
don't have to have the most to be the best.
That's
So
true.
it
They
should.
do talk about that when they bring up NASCAR, though.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
different.
because
It's
it's
different.
it's I think that's because it's a singularity sport. I mean, they talk about grand slams in golf and tennis too. So like, but I mean, Tiger isn't the all-time major championship winner, but he's considered the greatest golfer. Like, no doubt, no doubt, Tiger's the greatest golfer of all time, but he doesn't have the most championships. That Jack Nicklaus does.
Yep.
So I don't know.
No, I get it.
Hopefully, when he retires and he's sitting at 45,000 points, 12,000, 13, 14,000 assists, and 13,000 rebounds with 4 or maybe 5 rings, if he goes to because Bronny's going to be a late round pick. So if Bronny goes to a good team and then LeBron signs there, I'm sorry. They might win. So, and
Yeah.
it's not like LeBron's going to be a role player at that point.
No, he's still going to be LeBron.
Yeah. At worst, he's going to be what Wiggins was for the Warriors last year. At worst.
Yeah.
An elevated role player who was the second most important person on a championship team. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to talk about it. I won't waste more time with it, but I figured it was very important.
That indeed, though, had to be talked about. It's
Yes.
a big accomplishment.
Thank you, LeBron.
Yeah, shout out LeBron. Let's get into your thoughts on this weekend's games.
Yep.
Um,
So real quick, I need to share my screen. Let's start with the NFC Championship game, okay?
let's do it.
So we're just gonna do this real quick, okay? We're just gonna real quick. Let me do this.
Just gonna do something. I'm waiting for you.
We're just gonna do this, and we're just gonna do that.
That's facts. Hey, y'all, listen. You can't fool me. You can't fool me, Philly Mike. I'm familiar with your game, but you ain't familiar with my game. Apology accepted. Until the season's over, because you about to do the same shit that you did last week, and you said it pre-pod.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Chiefs are a better team than the Eagles, like I said with the Niners, but I'll give my reasons. But I just felt that was very important. That's my way of apologizing to you.
It's cool. Hey, listen, I completely understand. You were not the only one.
No,
that was on that train.
Did I once shit on the Eagles? No.
No, you didn't. But I'm just saying. A lot of people were.
A lot of people were
the
saying
Niners as the better team.
Yeah, that's true.
But clearly, everybody was wrong.
Yeah,
and even me. I was like, listen, realistically, this game right here, it might be low scoring. It might be a defensive grudge match, and for the first half, it looked that way.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, shout out again, Philly Mike. I called in. I'm like, hey.
Pack watch.
It's feeling like a pack watch. We watching a big pack, and we smoking a big pack right now.
Yeah. So, my thoughts on the game, I don't want to take away anything from the Eagles when I say this. After the first quarter, Niners didn't have a chance. It was 7-7. I think when Brock went down. Once Brock went down, it was over. It could have ended. Yeah, it could have ended 14-7. It could have ended 7-0. It could have ended 50-7. The game was over. Even if Josh Johnson was healthy, I don't think they're doing anything. Maybe getting a touchdown at best.
They got one with Josh Johnson, but it was really Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, like maybe they got maybe they got the 14 or something like that, but like I don't know. And it's terrible. I hate to see games like that where guys go down and it's just like there was so much hype from the both of us watching this game. I feel like you were I don't say you're disappointed with the outcome. I think you're disappointed with the product.
Not
Seeing how
really,
it went.
because there's a lot of people that were saying like the way that the Eagles won, that they really struggled offensively. That wasn't the case.
No, I
Just
disagree.
because they didn't throw for 350 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns in this game doesn't mean that their offense struggled. The 49ers had a really good game plan to stifle our pass game. It worked. It worked. Yeah. Jalen Hurts ended with 121 passing yards, I believe. But the story of the day was the trenches. The way our offensive line was able to just flat out dominate the 49ers defense, and how the RPO froze their entire defense, and we just ran it on them.
Yeah.
It was total domination.
Yeah, and that's nothing to take away from the Eagles. Like they have some help by some short fields and 4 and outs constantly by the Niners, of course. Jalen didn't have the greatest game, but that's to be expected against the top 2 defense in the NFL. So I'm not going to sit here and act like they didn't earn it. I hate seeing that. I mean, Nick Bosa came back, Fred Warner came back, but clearly they weren't 100%. Trent Williams got booted, but that was late.
And rightfully so.
And they had no quarterback. And I feel like this goes to show that 3 quarterbacks need to be allowed to suit up for a game. That's not a thing anymore. I don't know if you knew that. You only have 2 quarterbacks suit up.
Yep.
They need to reinstate the 3rd quarterback. Even though the Niners didn't have one, they still need to do it for other scenarios.
Yeah.
Because what do you do at that point? Now you're making Brock Purdy's injury worse at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't throw the ball at all, but what if he had to? You know what I mean? What if he got hit like he did again? You know what I'm saying? Now you're looking at
ended his career.
Yeah, it could have. So, I think it was a very disappointing watch for me, but the Eagles did what they did. You can't take anything away from them. You can only play the team that's opposed from you. It doesn't matter who's on the field.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people that were really writing off a shit ton of excuses as to why like the 49ers got blown out with the whole well, they didn't have a quarterback thing, and they lost Brock Purdy and this, that, and the third. But when the Eagles were in the wild card game in 2019 against the Seahawks, Carson Wentz goes down with a concussion after getting spearheaded into the ground by Jadeveon Clowney. And then we're left with our backup, Josh McCown, who tore his hamstring mid-game straight off the bone. Nobody wanted to make excuses for us as to why we lost that game. So why should we sit up here and make excuses for the Niners?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I do want to say,
again, it's unfortunate that happened. And obviously, you don't wish injury on anybody.
Nope.
Anybody. But no, the Eagles did their thing. It's just unfortunate that, both of their quarterbacks had to get hurt. And Yeah,
and I'm also kind of disappointed with media. No one's really talking about Josh Johnson with a concussion. That was a pretty bad hit. No one's talking about that. But no, and I will say, I don't know if you probably brought it up, but you probably didn't say it how I'm going to say it. I think on that Devontae Smith catch, it was clearly not a catch. It was an amazing play to hurry up the offense. That was insane. And if I'm Shanahan, as soon as you see fucking Devontae Smith trying to hurry up the offense,
let's go, Jalen! Come on, I ain't catch this shit. Let's go, get on the ball.
As soon as you see that, you're throwing the flag, regardless if you think it was a catch.
Yeah.
Because if the other team thinks it wasn't, then you clearly know it isn't.
Yeah. So that was a huge part in the game. I mean, what helped the Eagles out tremendously is that the home field, they're not showing the replay on the Jumbotron, so it gives them an opportunity to look at it And
Yeah.
the angles, the TV angles, you couldn't really tell that it was a drop until after the drive. They came back from the commercial and showed that angle that showed it was clearly a drop.
Yeah.
But that's the difference in the game. I mean, that's the situational awareness that
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan has shown in history to lack in big situations like that.
Yeah.
You turn around, you flip it the other way of the coin. That forced fumble of Brock Purdy where he tore his UCL, they called it incomplete, but it was clearly a fumble. What did Nick Sirianni do? Immediately threw the red flag, reviewed it,
Yep.
showed us a fumble, clear recovery. Linval Joseph shat out,
Yeah.
falling on that John, and got the turnover.
Yeah.
And that was huge in this game too. They just got out coached.
They did. They
Out
did get out coached.
situational awareness,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed like with all of those disgustingly bad penalties. Not that they were bad, like, all right, the refs, that was a bad call.
Yep.
All of those flags were legit penalties. They were just playing so sloppy, and it drives me crazy how everybody on Twitter, well, mainly Niners fans, are crying about how the game was rigged. It was not rigged. Y'all were fouling up a storm.
Yeah.
You should have fouled out and sent back to San Francisco. Game should have been over.
Yeah. And I agree. And the last two things I'll bring up before we move on. I feel terribly for Brock Purdy. I don't think he plays another snap.
Yeah.
At least for them. Next year.
See.
Because here's my whole thing. Here's my whole thing. Shanahan this year, and we know the Niners take swings. He watched four quarterbacks go down when he's got a dynasty level roster. Like the Eagles have. Yeah. They have dynasty level rosters. You know what I mean? And you keep watching your quarterback go down. It's not like Brock Purdy's going to have any chance this offseason to get better. And I'm sorry, you're not getting much better in OTAs and practices and shit. You need a whole offseason of reps and working with your receivers and shit like that. And this offense isn't getting any younger. Trent Williams is 35. George Kittle's always beat up. Debo's always beat up. Christian McCaffrey wasn't as much this year. But who's to say a whole season next year he won't be? I think they take a swing at a quarterback. I really do. I think Trey Lance – I think they're going to trade Trey Lance. I think they're going to keep Brock. Jimmy's going to walk.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to go after Tom Brady. I really do. I think that if I'm Shanahan, that's what I'm doing. Because it's number one, it's your side of the ball. Your defense is set for a while. Your offense isn't getting any younger. It's your side of the ball. And we've clearly seen him piece together master classes before.
Yep.
Tom Brady in that system would be ridiculous.
Yeah, but at the same token, I mean, you look at that injury and you look at their offensive game plan for our defensive line. Why do you have a second string tight end trying to chip block Hassan Reddick? Are you like, and that's it. There's no other point of emphasis to neutralize him.
Yeah. And you know what? Not every coach is perfect. I still think Shanahan's a top 3 coach. I do. It was a bad game plan, but it is what it is. So
I mean, you look at that defensive line. I think that would probably be your number one guy to stop. He's second in the league in sacks with 16.5. He's our leading sack guy. Yeah, All pro type season, should be defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna block him with the second string tight end. Okay.
Yeah, just for example, Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, and he's lost 3 Super Bowls. So clearly he's been outcoached. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. Let's not say that Kyle Shanahan. Let's not take away from him.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So, but you look when you look at you know who's the main guy that we have to stop on this defense. Hassan Reddick is probably number 1 on that front.
For sure.
So matching him up against a tight end is food every single day of the week.
If it was George Kittle, I get it, because George Kittle's a hell of a blocker.
Even George Kittle.
Yeah.
Even George Kittle couldn't hold him.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But I mean, like, that would have been better than what they did. You know?
Yeah. But even George Kittle couldn't hold him. So it was food either way.
Yeah. So
But
I just
still, I
wanted
think I think have
to.
you got to have the right tackle on him and a chip blocker to kind of double team. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's history now. I'm
Yeah.
cool with it. Eagles,
Yeah. Of
their
course.
second Super Bowl berth in 6 years.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
And yeah. So just to wrap that up, I think Tom Brady is a Niner. I think it's going to be a foregone conclusion. I don't think we see Brock Purdy once next year unless Tom goes down because Tom plays. Tom doesn't get hurt. He's old as shit. You may be a 1-year rental, but with that offense aging, that might be all you need. That might be your window on offense before you got to start rebuilding.
yeah.
So,
I can see that. I can
yeah,
see
because
that.
you lose
But we'll
Trent
see.
Williams, your offensive line is toast, and he's 35. So
Yeah, I
we
mean,
don't
you
even
look.
know if he's
I
coming
mean,
back
yeah,
next year.
you look at the way that game got wrecked. It wasn't on Trent Williams' side. It was the other side of the line
Yep.
that fell apart.
Yeah. So
Um,
I just wanted to bring that up. Lastly, for this game, we need to give our flowers to Christian McCaffrey.
yeah, for sure.
He tried so hard in that
Yeah,
second half. The dude was about to go out there as a quarterback. They said, nah, you're just going to run the ball every play but one.
yeah. Yo, CMC is that
Incredible.
dude.
And you know what? Knowing that Brock couldn't throw the ball, they stacked the box, and this dude was still churning 4, 5, 6 yards of carry.
It just goes to show you how good
It's
he is.
just,
I mean, he was really
yeah,
the reason why in the first half that it was a close game because no matter what the Eagles tried to do, he was just running through guys, jumping over guys. Like we could not
yeah,
stop him.
yeah. And that's not to take away from the Eagles defense. I just
Yeah,
think,
no, for sure. But
like I
he was
said, like
definitely
I
giving
said,
them fits.
like I say about a lot of these games, great offense always beats great defense, in my opinion. And Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in football, next to Nick Chubb. So
Yeah.
incredible. I just wanted to give him his quick flowers because I think he tried everything he possibly could to make something happen.
No
Obviously, it
doubt.
didn't work
No
out, but I
question.
mean, whew.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's me, bro, that's how a white man runs a football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah. So that's
31-7.
all.
They took it easy on him this time. They messed with the Rocky statue again. We took it easy, just 31, not 38.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool. It's
fair.
still food.
Yeah,
We on our
so,
way to Arizona. They on their way home.
Yep.
So yeah, let's talk about this other game. Cincinnati and Kansas City. Kansas City narrowly at the end of the game-winning field goal, 23-20 in Arrowhead. Burrowhead my ass.
Burrow hit my ass. I have a lot more opinions about this game than I do the Eagles game, just because that Eagles game is what it was.
Yeah.
This game was a hell of a lot more competitive.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly, I got to keep it a stack. I don't have as many solid thoughts about this game. I mean, I have thoughts about the Chiefs team as a whole and like how they
No
operate and
cap,
things
you
of that
was
nature. But
sauced, my boy.
I was lit as fuck. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was off the Crown Vanilla. I never been drunk like that in my life. The room was spinning. It was lit.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't have too much to say about the game. I watched a little bit. Came down to the wire. The Chiefs defense got a couple huge stops. And I know there was a lot more questions about the officiating and timing of missed calls in this one than the Eagles game. And they talk about the Sky Moore punt return where there was a couple like illegal holds. And even when Pat Mahomes scrambled out for the first down and got pushed out late, they were talking about the one Chiefs tackle holding too long, but there's holding on every play.
There's holding on every play. There's a legal block in the back on almost every kickoff. It's a matter if they see it or not. No, I thought this game was incredible. There should, until Patrick Mahomes retires or declines, there should never be another conversation about who's the best in the league. I said this with Josh Allen, and then people started bringing Joe Burrow up.
Yep.
It's not close. It's not close. It's nowhere near close. Patrick Mahomes is up here, Joe Burrow's here, and everyone else is down here. maybe
Jalen.
maybe
Jalen
I
needs
think
to be in
Jalen.
that conversation.
Those three? No. I mean, with those two? No.
Yes.
It's to me, it's Pat. Okay, let's do Pat, Joe, Josh, and Jalen, and then everyone else.
Bro, Jalen is better than Josh Allen. Bro, don't do this. Jalen's
All right,
in the
listen, I don't
Super
want
Bowl.
I don't
Jalen's
want
in
to
the
have this.
bowl.
I don't want to have this conversation. But
We're gonna have this conversation. Maybe not
now.
today, but we're gonna have this conversation.
We'll have the conversation about where if they win the Super Bowl, we'll talk about where he lines up. But
if
but
they
no,
win the Super Bowl, he lines up 2 or 3, in my opinion. But
I would probably agree with 3 if he wins it. I would agree with 3 if he wins it. I only give Josh Allen the slight nudge because he's been doing it longer, and he's consistently made deep runs. And it's not like it's head and shoulders Allen over Jalen. I think they're neck and neck. But so I'm really not far from your opinion on that. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. Patrick Mahomes is by far the best quarterback in football. He's the greatest. I think he's the best quarterback we've ever seen play. Done. That game proved it to me. He's not the greatest of all time. He's the best I've ever seen. Best I've ever watched. And I think I didn't see Dan Marino play. I've seen some games. I'm not going to sit here and act like, he's one of the top arm talent guys of all time. Aaron Rodgers is one of the top arm talent guys of all time. Patrick Mahomes clears them, I think. I don't even think it's a conversation. This man, they had 2.1 yards to carry from their offense on pretty good sample size, 20 carries for 42 yards. He lost 3 of his top 4 receivers. He had 1 leg, and he had 325 on 70% completion, 2 tuds, 105 passer rating.
That's damn good.
What are you supposed to do against that? What are you supposed to do? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing. There's nothing you can do. The only way you can beat Patrick Mahomes is by having the ball with less than 2 seconds left. With less than 2 minutes left. That's it. It's the only way you can beat him. Can't beat him when you're up 24. You can't beat him when you're up 15. You can't beat him when you're down. You can't.
The only way you can beat him is by him not being out on the field and not having the ball.
That's it. It's the only way. So I think that was his best performance we've ever watched from Patrick Mahomes, considering the circumstances. I texted you that, I think, the day after. What would that have been, yesterday? I think that's the best we've seen him ever play, based under the circumstances. It was incredible. The Joe Burrow picks, I'm not really going to shit on too much for. One of them was an incredible defensive play, and the other one was a tip 50-50 ball. So I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really going to put those against him too much. I mean, they're on the stat sheet, so they're there, but I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Picks don't all come in the same way. I think it was incredible. That's what happens when you run your fucking mouth. That's what happens. Eli Apple? Where's he? Huh? Is Eli Apple gonna have a job next year?
We'll see.
We know? I don't know. He's good when they get their corners back. He's gonna be like 5th guy on the team, and it's not like they're deep at corner.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon. He was yapping. 8 for 19, huh? 8 for 19? That's what you're giving me? A log of 7? You take that 7 away, he went 7 for 12. Where are you, buddy? Huh?
Yeah.
The only person that was zilch the entire week was Joe Burrow. That's it. And, he played fine. Like I said, I don't really put the picks too much on him. They're on the stat sheet, so they got to be, but they don't all come in the same shapes and sizes. And to get into the officiating a little bit, every time a team loses, it's either rigged or the officials blew calls. I thought that was clearly unnecessary roughness pushing him out of bounds.
Late, yeah. No
It was
doubt.
late.
No question.
He was 2 steps out. And on top of that, you're going to do that to a guy you know has a high ankle sprain. I mean, yeah, he's out there, so he's up for hits regardless. But I mean, like,
he's out of bounds.
The refs knowing he was on a high ankle sprain, he's 2 feet out of bounds. That's clear. You know what I mean? You throw that every time.
Yep.
And I hate that people are shitting on Joseph Osai so much. In the heat of the moment, you know you probably just lost the game off after that run. And he played a really, really good game. Joseph Osai was electric that day. Game.
He was.
You heard his name called, like 2 quarterback hits, a tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. That's pretty good for a rotational pass rusher.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't feel like the officiating was really that bad, personally. You give him those yards because of that play. That's clearly unnecessary roughness. Is that what they call it? What's the name of that penalty?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the illegal block in the back on the kick return. It's on every fucking kickoff. Go watch the all-22s. They just either catch it or they don't. If it's blatantly obvious, more times than not to catch it, it wasn't blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
And he was out of the play. It's not like,
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and blame the officiating. Patrick Mahomes had the ball last. What did I say? It's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. And the best quarterback ever did what he always does. This is exactly how I imagine the game to happen. I imagine more scoring a little bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing too, not a lot of people are talking about, the Chiefs defense has come alive over the last few weeks. And I'm not surprised because that's what happens when you roll the dice and start rookies early on in the year.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get better. They're no longer rookies now. They're veterans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've done a whole season now. And they showed up. Trent McDuffie was awesome. Jalen Watson was awesome. And their defensive line was insane.
Yeah.
All game. Chris Jones had his first career playoff sack, believe it or not.
Yeah, 2.
And Frank Clark's now number 2 all time in the playoffs, which is weird. Very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they lost L'Jarius Sneed too. So it's not like they were at full strength either. L'Jarius Sneed went out in the first couple plays.
Yeah.
So, the other rookie I'm missing, George Karlaftis was great. 2 TFLs and a sack. Yeah, so I think that I no longer consider the Chiefs defense to be a problem. It's not great. It's barely good. But it's not a deficit to the roster anymore, I don't think.
It's not a liability.
No, it's not. That's the word. It's not a liability. It's fine. It's a fine defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's good enough for
Patrick Mahomes. It's good enough when you got Patrick Mahomes. Good enough.
Yeah. So, and yeah, so that's my whole thing with this game. I think exactly what was supposed to happen happened. The better quarterback, the better coach won.
Yeah.
And I told you in the beginning of the show I wanted to bring this up. If Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, I think there could be an argument made. Well, number one, right now, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer if he retired today. If not first ballot, he's a Hall of Famer. He's getting in.
Yeah, for sure.
If he wins the Super Bowl, I think there's an argument to be made against every quarterback not named Tom Brady. Every single one. You could convince me on Joe Montana.
I was gonna say Joe Montana that's a tough one, but
it's tough.
I mean, other than him and Brady, I guess so. I mean,
let's look at the list, right? Dan Marino, never won a Super
Bowl. Peyton
John
Manning.
Elway. Peyton Manning, I'd probably take Mahomes. 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And I can argue right now Mahomes is doing Peyton Manning's always had, when he's had really good years, top 10 defense. Mahomes hasn't had that yet in his career.
Yeah.
So that's my argument for Peyton. Elway, 2 Super Bowls. Did Elway ever win an MVP?
I want to say he did. I'll look it up.
I don't think he did. Oh, yeah, he won one. 87.
Yep.
Okay. And yeah, it was a different sport back then. Let me ask you this. Has Patrick Mahomes ever had a running game like Terrell Davis?
Not TD.
Has he ever had a defense like those Broncos guys?
They had some filthy defenses. Steve Atwater. Bill Romanowski.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Travis Kelce's better than Shannon Sharp, but he had Shannon Sharp too.
Ah, man. That's tough.
What? Kelce over Shannon? Are you kidding me?
Shannon Sharp is that dude.
Kelce's better.
I mean, they're in the same conversation for sure, but
I think Kelce has more career touchdowns than Shannon Sharp right now.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that information. I just know he when you talk about tight ends, you gotta Shannon Sharp is one guy you definitely gotta look at. But Travis Kelce
Absolutely.
also, so
Let me look at it. Let's see. Where is Kelce? Kelce has more yards than Shannon Sharp. Kelce, let me look at touchdowns. Where are they? Receiving touchdowns. Kelce's got 8 more than Shannon Sharp. Next year, he'll probably pass Antonio Gates for number 2 on the all-time. For number 3 on the all-time receiving yards list.
Fair.
He'll be behind Tony G, who's close, and then, Jason Witten, but I don't think he's considered a top 5 guy. People sleep on Jason Witten's career, but I don't think he's a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
When you look at guys like Khaled Winslow, Gronk, Gonzalez, Gates, Sharp, Kelce.
Yep.
I don't think Jason Witten's in that class. He's top 10. But yeah, Kelce needs 5 tuds to pass Jason Witten. The only argument is against Tony G.
Yeah.
Tony G never won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And if it's not Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl MVP, who's it probably going to be? Travis Kelce. So
that's fair. Yeah.
So that's but I'm getting sidetracked. And then who are some other quarterbacks that you can make the argument against? Aaron Rodgers, better than Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah. No, I was saying Aaron Rodgers in there? No.
I think Rodgers is close to top 5 because of the talent. Okay. Is he better than Drew Brees?
Aaron Rodgers?
Sleep on Drew Brees. No.
Mahomes?
Because that's another quarterback people sleep on. Drew Brees. Yeah,
that's
number
tough.
2 in yards, number 2 in tuds, and a Super Bowl.
Statistically, I don't know if I can say that, but
obviously no. I just mean I don't know.
We'll have to cross this bridge in 2 weeks.
And he's had the greatest start to a career for any quarterback ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing.
Him and Tom Brady, I would say.
5 straight AFC home championship games.
It's ridiculous
to start a career.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And I think he's averaging 5,000 yards and 40 tuds a season. If he plays 15 years, he'll be close to Brady's numbers.
Yeah, that's wild. That's absolutely wild.
Yeah. And that's just 15. If he played the same amount of Brady, he'd blow him out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not going to, and I'm not, I mean, you're going to argue if the Eagles stay as good as they are, he won't. But I mean, I don't think there'll ever be a time, because it's Mahomes, that they'll ever be out of the contenders pool.
I don't think so. Just as long as they give him enough.
Enough.
That's the thing. Like this year,
This is
I
the
think
worst roster he's played with.
Yeah, like this year, they gave him enough. I mean, you look at the offense, their running backs, like Pacheco, he's decent.
Put Pacheco in any other system.
Yeah.
Other than the Niners. Other than the Niners.
And the Eagles.
And the Eagles, yeah. But I mean, like,
their offensive line is solid.
This is his worst roster, and are they favored now? Because I know the line keeps flipping, doesn't it?
No. The Eagles,
it's still
so the Chiefs opened as 2.5-point favorites out the door. 20 minutes after that, the line shifted to 2.5 Eagles.
The money just went right towards.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see what happens close to the game when the smart money starts coming in, but I think it's going to end.
I think that's about right, though.
Yeah, I think just because of those big number guys that come in usually closely, I think it'll move to like 1.5 Eagles, and I think that's where it'll end.
Yeah.
But
I think 3's about right, though.
Yeah, probably. I just, if he has another 5-year stretch, that he, like, after this year, if he's another 5-year stretch like he did these last 5, so that would be, say he wins his Super Bowl. If he has the same exact stretch, 4 Super Bowls, it'd be 4 MVPs because he's going to be the MVP this year, 10 straight AFC Championship games.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you do with that?
I don't know. Anoint him the king.
Yeah, I think he should be. I think he'll need 3 Super Bowls and 15 years of consistent play to be the GOAT. I really do.
Yeah.
So
I just don't think it's this one. That's just me though. We'll get into our way early. But what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about
now, since we're talking about them, I'll do my quick preview of the Super Bowl.
What'd you say?
Since we're on the topic of these games, I'll do my quick preview of the Super Bowl, and then we'll get into like coaches and shit like that.
That's fair. All right.
I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm just gonna. And like I kept saying, every time I picked against the Eagles, there's no hate against the Eagles. I just refuse to bet against the potential GOAT of this sport and the potential GOAT coach. At least the greatest offensive coach we've ever seen, I think.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. And arguably the GOAT tight end. It's going to come down to the same thing. Whoever has the ball last is going to win, I think. I don't think the Eagles will slow down the Chiefs enough to have them being out ahead and it being over in like the mid fourth quarter. I think it's going to be too close.
Yeah.
I really do. And if it's a close game, I'm going to take the Chiefs. That's all I really want to say on it. I don't want to break nothing down too much because we still got a lot of shit to, a lot of time till then. Progression of both quarterback injuries, progression of the wide receivers.
I think they'll both be as healthy as they can be.
Yeah. And we'll see about progression of the wide receivers.
You obviously know where I'm going with my pick, bro. Come on. I'm going with the Eagles. You see, I told you this one looks nice. I need me another one. What I look at, like, initially, what I look at here, and what I like to look at when I look at games like this, particularly like Eagles against certain opponents, just because I know the Eagles roster so well.
Yep.
What their strengths and weaknesses are. I look at position groups. I look at key places, key matchups. Again, it sounds like a broken record, but the trenches, O-line, D-line versus their O-line, D-line is key. I think the Eagles are better than them in both of those areas. Um, I think what can really get our defense on their heels though, and we've struggled with this really all year. Some teams haven't really like done it a lot, but when teams have done it, we've struggled a little bit. Screen game, check
Yep.
downs. You see like receiving scat backs out of the backfield. Just because we run that 5-man front, but it
Yeah.
creates one-on-ones on the line, and we force the guys to get home. But you're leaving 2 linebackers back there. You got 2. We usually run, what is it, like 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, 2 corners, 2 2 high safeties. You don't really have a lot in the flat.
Yeah.
So I think that's a point of emphasis for KC to
Yeah.
have
And
consistent success, and they've done that a lot. They did that a lot against the Bengals, and they had a
yeah,
lot of
like
success.
that's what I said they might do is they're gonna have to run some screen game because we're
Yeah,
not sure if Mahomes can push it down the field.
yeah, and that's fine.
Yep.
Just as long as the Eagles can identify that on tape and make necessary
Yeah.
adjustments and install into the game plan to kind of mitigate that.
Yep.
That's just an observation for me. Defensively, offensively, I think honestly, whatever the defense is going to give the Eagles, because I think they can excel either way, whether they decide to run the ball, whether they decide to pass the ball. I think mano e mano against their guys and ours. I think overall our offense is better than their defense.
I
So I
agree.
think as long as the offensive line is going to hold up and give Jalen time, and Shane Steichen can, draw up some nice route concepts and keep balance with the RPO and stuff, we're going to see Jalen run a bit here. They're going to have
Yeah,
to
for
keep their
sure.
defense honest. However they want to attack the Chiefs defense, I think they'll be able to do it however they want. They just have to be efficient. They have to be consistent, and they can't get away from what works.
Yeah.
And because
Time
of
of
that,
time
and
of
just
yeah.
talent wise, I think they're better.
Yeah.
It's gonna be close. I think they have the edge there. So
Yeah, and I think time of possession is going to be the biggest
that's gonna be
the
key. And I
biggest
think
the
that
biggest
is what I
teller
think is gonna
because
be
yeah,
that's gonna be a
and
huge point of emphasis for the Eagles.
yeah.
I mean, we saw it this week against the Niners. They had 3 straight 3-and-outs there. The 49ers scored to tie it up 7-7. They get the ball back like 8:26 left in the second quarter, and they pretty much ate that clock up all the way to the end of the half.
Mm-hmm.
They went on a 6.5 minute drive to score. And then they forced the turnover, got another touchdown, and broke it wide open. But those long, sustained, methodical drives are going to be huge because you don't want to have Patrick Mahomes out there slinging the rock and
No.
making all these explosive plays. If you can eliminate and limit his his possessions,
Yes.
you're gonna have success.
Yeah, and like I will, and I don't think the turnover battle is going to be much of an issue this game because neither of these teams turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. You might be more confident in it than I am, but I don't think Mahomes is going to turn it over. And I don't think Jalen's going to turn it over. I think it's just going to be whoever gets in the red zone the most.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna be
whoever controls
tough.
the clock. Yeah,
I
red
I
zone
think
percentage.
I
Yeah.
believe in the Eagles being more likely to force a turnover than the Chiefs,
I
just
agree.
because of the talent they have around them and how good these guys are. Like Hassan Reddick off the edge is a mismatch against just about every offensive line
Yeah.
imaginable.
Mhm.
I mean, and no discredit to Spags. He's a brilliant defensive coach. But you got a game plan for these guys. You
Yeah.
and take one
They
away.
just
You
don't
got
have the
another couple
defensive
guys
talent.
that
Yeah.
eat.
Yep.
So it's gonna be
Spags
tough.
can draw up whatever he wants. They just don't have the defensive talent. Them Chiefs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically that's my early thoughts on the game. We'll see who gets healthy for the Chiefs throughout the week because I'm pretty sure the Eagles didn't really lose anybody, right? I mean, Landon Dickerson got beat up.
Yeah, he has a hyperextended elbow, but he's expected to play. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have all 22 week 1 starters for
Mm-hmm.
the Super Bowl. That's
Yeah.
that's a crazy feat. Let's talk about that for a second before we get into all this other
Oh my
nonsense.
god.
Bro, when have you ever seen a Super Bowl team with all 22 of their week 1 starters?
The Chiefs this year, if their 3 receivers get healthy.
If big question
Which
mark,
I think they will, because I don't think they're all like hurt bad, right? I don't think they are.
Yeah. But I mean, no, you look at like, all right, like they are healthy. There's no limitations, no full go.
Yeah.
Completely healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Avonte Maddox getting healthy back for this game was absolutely impressive. He had a severe toe injury against the Cowboys Christmas Eve. I'm like, it's a rapsy scapsy for him for the year. That sucks.
Yep.
Somehow he put the work in, his body healed up, and he's back out there. That is just absolutely remarkable.
Yes.
And for the Eagles, I mean, the last 6-7 years for them has been injury riddled. One of the most injured teams in all of football. And I mean that flipped when Nick Sirianni got here. I mean he really got into like preserving the body, limiting, all of that stuff. I mean, we saw when they were in the Super Bowl the last time, they're without 7 key starters.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think depth is a big thing. Like when you look at depth, it's not so much getting more talent at positions. It's keeping your starters healthy. That's what depth does. That's the number one thing for depth, is to keep your starters healthy. Yep.
And I think the Eagles are pretty deep at those key positions.
Same thing in basketball. You have a good bench, you don't have to play your starters 38 minutes a night. That's why the Warriors consistently win championships, because they've always had good benches. Steph doesn't have to go out there and play 40 a night.
Yep.
This year, he's like 60th in minutes played per game.
Yeah.
So
all about the bench.
Yep.
You have deep rosters, you'll go deep in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just simple logic.
All right. Coaches.
We got a big list, a laundry list. The coaching carousel has begun to spin, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you have a list? Because I'm asleep. No lie, I'll probably forget.
I have a couple off the top of my head.
Yeah,
so number 1,
big news.
DeMeco Ryans hired as the Houston Texans head coach. Big loss for the Niners. I mean, he was the huge defensive coordinator, defensive mind that really had that defense churning. Not to say that their defense is going to be absolutely ass. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have someone in there with a really good scheme, and their roster is very good. So they, it's going to be tough to replace DeMeco Ryans, though.
Yeah, my initial thoughts on it is I think it's a dumb move for DeMeco Ryans. I really do. If I'm a first-time coach, that is the last place I want to go. They flip coaches like nothing, especially, not to bring race into it, but black coaches historically are gone after 1 year in Houston. I mean, damn near every team, but especially Houston. It just isn't great. It's not a good fit. They have nothing outside of Derek Stingley on defense. I mean, Petrie, that's the rookie safety, played fine, I guess. But as a rookie defensive coach, that's the last place I want to go. I want to go to a place that's got a good offense set up to where we're at least somewhat competitive and I could build my defense for a year or 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean,
for the Texans, home run. What? For the Texans, home run. But
yeah. Situation, I mean. But he's walking in familiar territory. I mean, he played there for the first part of his career, 2 Pro Bowls, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 2006. So it's home for DeMeco Ryans. I mean, it is a no-brainer for him.
Yeah, for 1 year.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it's going to be. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be any better next year.
It depends. I can't answer that question. It just depends on. I'll be able to answer that question in June or July.
I just don't.
For me,
They just.
saying this team isn't really going to be that good next year, blah 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 blah. I got to see what they do over the offseason to get the roster better, to get their staff and the organization better. What they do in the draft to address the holes that they need. If they don't do any of that shit, then they're gonna be as bad. But
Here's my thing, though. They don't, and like, here's what I think has to happen for him not to get fired next year. They have to have a Brian Daboll type jump that the Giants did. They have nothing like that in place. They don't have a second year tackle looking to make a jump. They don't have a quarterback that's been consistently that has things to get cleaned up. Davis Mills, I'm sorry, is not as good as Daniel Jones, and he never will be. The one thing they have is their running game, but they don't have an offensive line because they keep losing guys, whether they're on drugs, get arrested, get traded, whatever. All they have is
they might
they
draft
have a good corner. They have their number one receiver doesn't want to be there. They don't. I can't name one tight end on their team. They have nothing.
OJ Howard.
Is OJ Howard on the Texans?
I think so. I don't know if he was released, but I know he was there for at some point this year.
Cool. They get a top 20 tight end, maybe. So I don't see a way where they get much. I mean, they'll obviously improve. They're not going to win one game next year, but 4 wins is probably my max. I don't see them doing much more than 4, maybe 5 wins, especially in that division. The Colts are going to be in the running for a quarterback, and they're going to be better next year because they're going to have a coach that actually, has coached. Unless they make a dumb decision to hire Jeff Saturday.
We'll see.
I mean, I appreciate them giving him a shot, but I mean, he's not a coach. He hasn't done the whole, go up through the fucking.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. That was.
And then the Jags aren't going any. Yeah, the Jags aren't going anywhere. And am I drawing a blank on the last team in that division?
Titans.
They're probably not going anywhere.
We'll see.
Maybe they might take a small step back.
So yeah, that was the first. That was the first one. The next one was obviously Sean Payton, head coach of the Denver Broncos. The Saints traded him. It's crazy to say they traded a coach. They traded him.
That was a lot more than you think. It just doesn't get announced.
I know it's weird because it doesn't happen often. But
yeah.
Sean Payton traded to the Denver Broncos, I believe, for their 2023 first and their 2024 second round pick in exchange for Sean Payton. And I want to say it was a 2024 draft pick that Denver got as well. I'll double check here.
Oh, did they get a pick in return?
They did.
You know where where are you looking?
Huh?
Where are you looking? I want to know.
Bleacher Report.
I'm going to Rappaport on Twitter.
Oh.
Gotta love Rap Sheet. Let's see. All that I see on here is the first round and the. Okay, it doesn't say what they got back. It says they got a pick, but
they got, I believe it was a 24 second round pick.
Okay, so they're swapping. They're doing a pick swap.
Yeah, but they also the Saints also got their first rounder this year.
Yeah, they're doing a pick swap. It's basically a first for him because neither of these teams are going to be. Oh, I mean the Broncos probably be good, but
yeah, that's a huge one for the Broncos, and I got to keep it a stack. I called this out earlier in the year when they were talking about Sean Payton getting back into coaching.
Yep.
I said prime destination Denver. Pretty good defense. The roster itself is not terrible. Offense is there. Russell Wilson. It's just poor coaching by Nathaniel Hackett, in my opinion. Sean Payton cleans that up tenfold. I think they double their record next year, and they'll be a wild card team for sure.
Yeah, I think so because the Raiders are going to take a huge step back. So, and I think the Chargers, if they're not going to stay the same, they're going to get worse. So
Yeah. Well, that's the other one we'll get into.
yeah. But
Actually,
yeah,
let's segue right into that.
Actually, real quick, though, I do want to say about this.
Yeah.
Sean Payton's a smart guy, so clearly he sees something in Russell Wilson that could be fixed.
Yeah.
And they've got a roster that's ready to make a run.
Yeah.
They need a pass rusher. I think they might need another tight end. Their offensive line is great.
The receivers, skill positions are great.
Yeah. I think they need maybe one tight end and some edge help.
And even their secondary is pretty solid too. Pat Surtain, Ronald Darby.
Yeah, they're solid. They're great in the secondary. I worry that they don't have a pass rush because what's the number 2 most impactful thing on a team? If it's not the quarterback, it's the guy chasing the quarterback.
Yeah.
So we see that
most important positions on the football team: quarterback and whoever is in the trenches, O-line, D-line, whoever that is.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I mean, this is a huge hire. I think this makes the Broncos tremendously better. I'll be eager to see who he brings with him. Because it's not.
And I want to see what kind of moves they try to make.
Yeah, that too.
Because Sean Payton's made a lot of moves.
It ain't Vic Fangio. Mm-hmm. He went somewhere. Where did he go?
I'm not sure. Did he go somewhere? Isn't he on the Eagles staff?
He's a senior consultant, but
which is sad.
He got hired by somebody.
Which is sad that he is a fucking
as a defensive coordinator. Yeah.
You put him in there over Jonathan Gannon, I would pick you guys against the Chiefs. Just letting you know.
Oh, you know where he went?
Where'd he go?
I believe he's the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's big. Mm-hmm. That's how you do it. Whatever side of the ball your head coach is, you need a all-star coordinator on the other side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, no, like we were talking about, next team, Chargers.
Yep. Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator. He parted ways with Dallas, and 8 hours late, literally 8 hours later, ring, ring, ring. Hey, it's Chargers. Kellen, we need you. We need you to flip this offensive script. You in? Yes, sir. All right.
It means nothing to me. I don't think it matters at all.
I think it matters a little more than you're putting stock into it. I think the Chargers defense is solid. I think that their offense, I think they're missing a couple pieces, but I mean, you look at their system as a whole, you don't really know what the hell that they're doing. I think Kellen Moore is a good offensive mind, and he'll bring a little bit more structure to that offense, and he also gets to work with Justin Herbert. I think that's an upgrade over Dak as far as a passer. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. Justin Herbert is head and shoulders. You know.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, it's great. Brandon Staley's probably still going to call the plays. If I had to guess.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Kellen Moore was calling the plays in Dallas.
And the other thing is too, people think Brandon Staley, because all the fourth down going for it last year, people think he's an offensive coach. He's a defensive coach.
Yeah, which is why I think.
But here's what I think though. They had a great. I think they have a great defensive roster.
I think so too. I think
were they a threat at all on defense this year? They weren't a threat at all on defense this year. The coordinator's cool, but none of it matters unless their coach is any good. And Brandon Staley is not a good coach at all.
Yeah, I think he's mid, but if he gives Kellen Moore off the play calling duties, I think their offense will be better. They just have to get some guys around Justin Herbert, because like Mike Williams is cool. He's not, in my opinion, he's not a number one.
No, he's not.
He's not a number one guy. Keenan Allen's getting older. He's been hurt more games than he's like played in the last 6 years. Gerald Everett, cool. Austin Eckler is literally your entire offense. You run past to him. I don't think it's not. when your
And then,
outside guys are Mike Williams and Joshua Palmer and
yeah,
DeAndre Carter.
the goat Josh Palmer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is this? I think they're missing a couple guys on the outside.
Yeah,
Um,
they need the youth.
but I think if you get a guy or two around Justin Herbert with Kellen Moore calling plays and he's got a good offensive system. We've seen it in Dallas. I think he makes their offense better.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's
I
I
agree.
think that's
If
an
he,
underrated one for sure. And that's tough for Dallas because that what Dallas is basically saying is the collapse, it's on Kellen Moore. It ain't on Dak Prescott.
here's my other thing though. Who was the play caller in Dallas?
Kellen Moore.
And they fell apart consistently on offense.
Yeah,
I think they have more talent
for sure.
offensively in Dallas than they do in LA.
Yeah. But at the same
And I
time, they
think
got
Mike McCarthy is a better coach than Brandon Staley. Like people shit on Mike McCarthy for the shit he's done in the playoffs. Not everybody's Bill Belichick. He led this team to back double-digit season wins after taking a year off. So that's pretty good. You know what I mean? He's like Dak. He's like Dak of head coaches. He's not the best. He's not going to get it done, but you can't really upgrade over him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal. I really don't. Especially with that defense.
I think it's going to be a little bit more big of a deal though. Okay. Because I mean, sure they had a lot of talent around, but if you're not going to have a coach that's going to put your players in the best position to succeed, then you're wasting the talent. And Kellen Moore was doing that, drawing up plays and stuff over there in Dallas. He got the most out of Zeke and Pollard that he could. CeeDee Lamb, I mean, it's debatable, but
I disagree.
He's the guy behind the huge offensive explosions that they've had over the last 4 years.
Yeah, and they have been very good, like in a totality standpoint of offense.
When you look at the numbers,
it's like
no doubt.
It's like I've never found that the Dallas offense had an identity. One week they're running 40 times and Dak's throwing at 20 and they're winning. The other week they're having Dak throw it 50 times in a close game. It's not even like they're down too much.
Yeah.
And they lose because they wouldn't stick to the recipe that works constantly.
Yep.
That's my whole thing with it is I don't think Kellen Moore is as good as the guys we think. I think this is another Dallas stereotype thing where because it's Dallas, people think he's better than he actually is.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. But
yeah,
I think I'm a little less on it than you are.
Yeah,
I think it seems like I'm a lot less on it than you are. I think we're opposite on this.
I just like I didn't like. I know what Dallas is. They like to pass.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very good at the run, but they wanted to pass. I look at the Chargers offense. I don't know what the hell that they're doing. So I think that you got a guy that kind of knows somewhat what he wants to do. It's gonna make him look a little better.
I will say it's always good to get a new face in the room. I will say that.
No doubt. So. No question.
All right. What do I have next?
I think the last guy that I got off the top of my head, Frank Reich, the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Fleeced.
Yep.
Those stupid Colts, dude. Those stupid Colts.
That shit was for Frank Reich.
that shit, bro. All right. They fired Frank Reich just to get a guy in there that didn't even coach high school ball.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me. They were no better when Frank Reich left. Clearly, it wasn't Frank Reich's fault.
Yeah, no question.
So you taint that relationship, not even having a chance to bring him back. You could have taken away the play calling from him first, which they didn't. They just fucking fired him. And now he's going to a place that's got a high pick of the draft, a chance of getting a young quarterback, and has a lot of pieces. They've got some pieces. A lot of young pieces. They need a running back.
Yep.
They need to upgrade the offensive line, but I think their defensive line is set. It's set.
I think he'll be able to kind of because they're rebuilding the culture over there. I think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to have the Doug Peterson effect that Doug had on Jacksonville.
I
You
think
know?
so too. I don't think it'll be as big of an impact like
No,
that.
no,
I
no.
don't
That's
think
not
they're
what I'm
gonna
saying.
win.
But
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a Doug Peterson type effect. You
Yes,
have a
I agree.
coach that has experience. He's been to big
Mhm.
games. He's won a Super Bowl as a play caller. Um, he knows what it takes to have a really good culture, and I think he's going to help build a good culture in Carolina. I think
Yeah,
they need to start. I would say they're probably 3 years out as far
probably.
as roster goes, but they're
Mhm.
going in the right direction.
Yeah, and it could even be sooner because just 2 years ago, Jacksonville was a dumpster fire, and they made the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
I think they're better set up
You
than
could
the
say the same
Jaguars.
thing about the Eagles too. 2 years
Yeah,
ago, they were a dumpster fire. 2 years
yeah,
later, they're in the Super Bowl, getting ready to win
yeah.
another
They
one.
they just they need to get the right guy. I don't think there's a high end quarterback in this year's draft. Um, I think one of them will probably pop because they usually do. Um, I mean, even this year, no one really popped. J- Kenny Pickett, I'm sorry, he could be a guy, but he didn't pop this year.
Yeah.
He was cool.
Sam Howell, he could be the
Cool,
Washington starter next year, bro.
I guess.
And I guess
I
the other news that there was, not coaching related, but Lamar Jackson expected to be given the franchise tag from Baltimore. This is I read that this was an exclusive franchise tag, so that no other teams could sign him. Um, so Lamar's staying. They're not paying him. They're tagging him.
you think he plays?
I think so. I mean, he'll by then like, as far as his injury goes, it won't be nothing but a thing.
No,
Um,
I'm not saying the injury. Do you think he shows up to OTAs and to you
um,
know?
I
I
don't
don't.
I don't know. But if you're talking about like playing like during the year, I think he does. I think he'll show up to training camp late. He'll
Maybe.
hold out as long as he can, and then just be like, you know what, screw it, I'll come. But
Okay, here's what I think is going to happen.
I
I
don't
think
think
he's
he
going to.
holds out. I don't think he holds out.
I don't think he holds out into the season, but I think we get a trade request sooner than that.
Could be.
I mean, he's a gamer and he wants to play, so I think he would. I think he'd even play if he requests a trade, but
Yeah.
I don't see him lowering the shoulder as much on quarterback runs. I think he gets down more. I don't think
Yeah.
he's not going to put his body on the line anymore until he gets paid.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's a shame. You know what I mean? If franchise tagging him is the right thing to do for the Ravens, if you're not going to pay him, but the right thing to do for the Ravens is to pay him. He's the best quarterback in your history.
Yeah.
So,
And y'all
you
had
know,
Joe Flacco.
facts. So just let the guy go or fucking pay him. Those are your two choices. I hate how teams, especially with the quarterback, with other positions, it's okay because at least on the franchise tag, you're getting top 5 money at your position, and that's big jumps in for certain guys on other teams because it's not a lot of times. Like a lot of times, you'll see guys that aren't top 5 guys in the position get it, and they're getting paid like it, so they're cool with it. Quarterback's different with a guy like this.
Yeah.
He's going to be making more if he gets signed, so he's pissed, and he doesn't have the security.
Yep.
So I don't
It's
like it. I don't like how teams dance around with their quarterbacks.
I agree.
So
And that's the thing. That's the thing that, in the back of my mind, concerned me a little bit with Jalen Hurts. But I think the Eagles are going to re-sign him, no question, this offseason.
there's no reason not to.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that the Eagles are going to franchise tag him, and he still has another year, maybe 2, I think, on his rookie deal. So the deal won't even kick in till like 2 or 3 years from now. But still, you gotta lock him up when you can. That'll be a whole nother topic of discussion when the offseason rolls around. But But
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's starting. The season ain't even over yet.
Yeah, and like you even look at lesser quarterbacks than him. Like we'll reference Dak. It was right to pay him that money. You know why? Because it's a lot better to be overpaying average to good quarterback than it is to not have one at all. So.
Yep. And even when they
Yep.
paid Carson Wentz that $127 million deal, it looked like a bargain after 2 years. I mean, you look at the way that quarterbacks are getting paid, the going rate. It's better to be early than be late. You know what I'm saying? And I think the
And the
Ravens.
salary cap, the other story too, the salary cap jumped the most it's ever jumped in history. That's only going to continue. So you're going to have to you franchise tag him this year. He's going to ask for $55 million next year.
Exactly.
If he goes out and balls like he did at the beginning of this year.
Yeah. So I think the Ravens are in a tough spot. No question about it. It's gonna be tough to see what they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Phew. I guess our last topic here. Let's talk about these Pro Bowl fillers. Not really many. I mean, not really many to kind of talk about, other than mainly the AFC quarterbacks. So Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, all listed as the starters. And obviously, when you get the picks, you also have alternates picked just in case, one guy goes to the Super Bowl, another guy may not want to go. They might want to go fishing instead or something. So all three of the original picks, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, are not showing up apparently to the Pro Bowl. Mahomes has more important things to take care of. Josh Allen just doesn't want to be there, and I guess Joe Burrow as well. So,
I want to give my opinion on this real quick. If it were me, have one last hurrah with some of the best guys in the league, just going out there and playing fucking yard games, representing your team. I would fucking love that.
Yeah.
It's not like there's fucking chance for injury. You're not fucking, hitting each other with pads. Go have some fun. Go take a vacation. It's paid for.
They play dodgeball, flag football.
Yeah, that shit would be
Passing
fun.
mini games.
Yeah.
Tug of war.
Kicking tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit sounds fire. Like, I hate how guys aren't showing up. I get the Super Bowl guys. Totally.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, here's the difference between Mahomes and everybody else. This is another difference. Dude lost an AFC championship last year. What did he do? Went to the Pro Bowl.
Yep. So, from what NFL.com is showing me, the three quarterbacks that are going to be there are Trevor Lawrence, okay, Derek Carr, I guess,
yeah,
and Tyler Huntley.
Derek Carr and Trevor Lawrence I'm okay with if Justin Herbert's name is in there too.
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley? Dude didn't throw for 1,000 yards this year.
He played 5 games.
5 games. 2 touchdowns. 2. I could get 2 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah. I don't see Brock Purdy's name on this list.
No.
I mean, it won't matter anyway. He has an injury, so.
I mean, maybe is Justin Herbert hurt? Doing like off-season surgery?
Yeah, but still, I mean, Tyler Huntley, that's a head scratcher for me. I would have wanted Justin Herbert in there before him. I mean,
at least guys that have played a half of the season.
Yeah.
Fucking Bailey Zappi could have made it over him.
Yep. No question.
Yeah, went 3-0 as the Patriot. 3-1 as a Patriot starter. Had more yards than Huntley in 2 less games.
Yeah.
And more touchdowns. The Pro Bowl is such a joke, dude.
It is. I think that's why the Pro Bowl's losing its luster as it's progressed, and it's a shame. I do enjoy watching the Pro Bowl. I enjoyed watching the best guys out there. I remember watching back in 2013 when it was Team Rice, Team Sanders, when they first did the drafting the guys. That was freaking awesome. But it ain't what it used to be.
No, it's really not. And you know, I love watching like the Pro Bowl game videos that they post on YouTube with the whole challenges and shit, like best catch and shit like that. There's gonna be a best catch challenge this year. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they need to do something because now all that the Pro Bowl's good for is legacy. That is it. That's it. Though at least the NBA changed their All-Star game, and now it is fun to watch.
Yeah.
And the guys try.
Yeah, with the quarters, with the final score, and then to 24.
It's not even that. It's the donations.
Yeah.
The NBA making donations.
Yeah. If the NFL did something like that, with the regular format, like a regular game, say first 3 quarters, 0-0. Again, whichever team wins that quarter, X amount of money donated to this charity. And then in the fourth quarter, you can figure out some kind of a format with the score.
Yeah.
You can say whether it's like a touchdown or something like that. I don't know. Because it's tough. Like with basketball, that's going to be a tough format to replicate in football. But yeah.
At least put something on the line. At least do it to where I mean, I hate the Super Bowl always changes venues, but if they wanted to do it, whichever conference wins the Pro Bowl, that team hosts the Super Bowl, like they do in the World Series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's. I mean, you might get it to where a couple times that like a team might maybe have back-to-back home Super Bowl games, so it's not really moving. But for the majority, the Super Bowl is still going to be moving around. You know what I mean? Because the odds of the 2 same teams and the 1 same team getting their conference winning the Pro Bowl twice a year and they make the Super Bowl is pretty low.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That's the
way to do it.
That's a topic for the off season.
Yeah, and a lot of Pro Bowlers are in playoff hunt.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Eagles. I mean, a crap ton of their players made the Pro Bowl. They're not playing in it because they're in the Super Bowl. But again, you got to look at how it used to be too. The Pro Bowl used to be after the Super Bowl, so everybody played.
Yeah.
And everybody was able to participate. But it's things I think have to be worked out on the NFL side that they kind of got this all screwed up. We'll just breeze through some of these replacements. On the AFC side, Dawson Knox is replacing Travis Kelce, which okay.
Good pick. I like Dawson Knox.
Yeah. Deion Dawkins for the Bills, replacing Orlando Brown at offensive tackle. Couple replacements here. Joe Thuney, he's being replaced by Wyatt Teller.
Joe Thuney.
Yep. Replaced by Wyatt Teller, Cleveland Browns.
I like that.
And Roger Saffold from the Bills, replacing Quentin Nelson from the Colts. Not sure why.
Why are these Bills guys getting in? The Bills have a terrible offensive line.
I couldn't tell you. And at center, Ben Jones replacing Creed Humphrey for the Chiefs. Ben Jones on the Tennessee Titans.
That's a good pick.
That's on offense. Defensively, Cameron Hayward replacing Chris Jones. That's a good one right there, I think. Couple on outside linebackers. Bradley Chubb replacing Khalil Mack. Can't make it for some reason. Matt Milano with the Bills replacing TJ Watt.
Matt Milano probably should have made it over TJ Watt, in my opinion.
Yeah.
TJ Watt missed games. Matt Milano was unbelievable.
Yeah. And then you look, that's about it on the defense. You look to special teams. AJ Cole, LA Raiders punter, replacing Tommy Townsend from the Chiefs. And Jamal Agnew replacing Devin Duvernay as the return specialist off the Jags.
Nice.
I'm not mad at that one right there.
Jamal Agnew's a dog.
He is a dog. No
He's
question. So, whoa, my bad. So Moving over the NFC side, Jared Goff replacing Jalen Hurts on the NFC side. So you got Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, and Jared Goff. That's a good ass pick right there.
Yep.
Good for Jared Goff. I mean, he had a hell of a year. Shout out.
Yeah.
So a couple more replacements here. Dalvin Cook of the Vikings replacing Tony Pollard, and Christian McCaffrey of the Niners replacing Miles Sanders.
Nice.
I can't be mad at that.
Oh.
I think that's pretty solid. Here's an interesting one. Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions to replace A.J. Brown.
Let me look at the Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What are your thoughts on that one? That's an interesting.
I think that's good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I can't really think of
The only guy to argue is probably Mike Evans, but he had it down here.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Or DK.
Yeah, DK Metcalf.
But Amon-Ra was insane this year.
You could say Deebo Samuel.
Oh yeah, Deebo. He also missed some games. But I guess missing games doesn't matter because Tyler Huntley missed 12. So
yeah, NFL don't give a shit.
Shit.
Offensive tackle Penny Sewell of the Lions replacing Lane Johnson. Nice. Might see another trickery play, Mr. MCDC, that you don't know.
What the fuck are we doing?
So what the fuck are we doing in the Pro Bowl?
I want to say LeBron James is now 4th all time in assists.
Hey, shout out.
I'm watching the box score.
Yeah.
I put a money line bet together.
Yeah. Offensive guards of the Green Bay Packers, Elgton Jenkins replacing
nice.
Landon Dickerson, Big Country. I don't know who that is, to be honest with you.
Elgton Jenkins.
I ain't mad at it.
Watch the McAfee show, you'll know.
Yeah. At center, Tyler
Linderbaum.
What?
Linderbaum?
Nope, that's on the AFC side. Tyler Biadasz. I don't know how to say his last name. Dallas Cowboys center is replacing Jason Kelce.
I think I like that.
Yeah, and then we look at the defensive side. Nothing really changed. Defensive end, interior lineman, outside linebackers. Danielle Hunter of the Vikings replacing Hassan Reddick. Solid pick. Corners. Jalen Ramsey of the Rams replacing Slay. What do you think about that? I think that's a little bit of a popularity contest kind of pick right there, just because.
Yeah, if it's me, I'm giving it to J.C. Horn from the Panthers.
Yeah.
Either him or what's his fuck from New York Giants this year. Big year.
Adoree Jackson.
Quiet name. Adoree Jackson. Yeah.
Him or Xavier McKinney.
Corner.
Or is he a safety?
He's a safety. Oh, he's their strong safety.
I'm asleep.
Yeah, you're a little asleep. Wake up, bro. Wait, is AJ Terrell in the Pro Bowl?
No.
Okay. What? Okay, AJ Terrell should be the replacement. He should have fucking started.
I'm sorry, I'm asleep. They got the Week 15 highlights from the Bears game playing while I'm reading these off for some reason. The Eagles. Bears.
Yeah, that should be bothering me all the time, bro. You got this shit planned? Piss me off.
And then after that, it's really about it. Everybody's kind of still the same. Quandre Diggs, Buda Baker, Hufanga. Tressway, punter, Jason Myers, place kicker, Kavontae Turpin, Jeremy Reeves for the special teams.
All I know is my guys are showing up to the Pro Bowl.
And all I know is my guys ain't, because they're going to a different bowl. Facts. And I'm cool with that.
Facts.
So yeah, some interesting picks in there.
I've been thinking about this while you're talking about that. Not that I wasn't paying attention, but I was a little bit because I've been thinking about this.
I get it.
NBA All-Star Game. Get rid of the skill showdown. They won't do one-on-one because guys don't have the pride to lose. in a one-on-one tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I think they should do: a 16-team bracket, 2-on-2, one guard, one forward.
I think that's a good.
The winner gets $100,000 going to their choice of charity.
Up at the 250. I wouldn't be mad. I think that's.
You know
I
how many
think that's
people will
solid.
watch that? You know how many people will watch that, and how
I'd
many
watch
guys
that. Yeah,
probably
I'd watch it.
guys would do it because it's like if I'm going down my homie. Like imagine a 2v2 James Harden and Embiid versus Jamal Murray and Jokic. It doesn't even have to be same team. You could pick your guys. So
Yeah.
say LeBron wanted to play with Steph.
LeBron and Kyrie.
LeBron
and Russ.
LeBron and Steph versus Kyrie and KD. That would be sick.
Yeah.
In a 2-on-2 tournament? Dude, that would be awesome. And I feel like guys would do it.
Yeah.
Guys wouldn't do 1-on-1, and 3v3 is too much, I think.
Yeah, I think 3v3 is too much. 2v2 to like 12 or 20. 21 might be too much, but if you do it to like 12 or something, I think that's okay.
Yeah, 11s, 1s, and 2s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do it all in one day. No, maybe not. Maybe you do like half of it. Because they usually have 3 days?
They'll do the like the USA versus World Rookie Showcase. You can do it that day, and then you can also do you can open that up with the Saturday night skills. That can be like the skills showdown, and then you got the 3-point contest, slam dunk contest, and then Sunday's the All-Star game.
Yeah, like Friday, do the first two or like the first bracket because it's the most games. Do the first slot of games. Play the US versus World game. Then go to the next day where you do dunk contest, 3-point contest, and then finish off the 2v2 tournament, and then you have the game Sunday. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That'd be fucking awesome.
We're gonna have to write a petition into the NBA for that one.
Yeah. When you and me are sitting on NBA on TNT inside the NBA with Shaq and Chuck. All right.
Ernie.
Well, we're no, fuck Ernie. Ernie's gonna retire. That's why we're gonna take his spot, and we're gonna kill Kenny Smith. Okay. We're gonna take their 2 spots, and we're gonna be like, hey, Shaq, Chuck, this is what we're gonna propose. Okay. And then you and me are gonna go 2-on-2 against Shaq and Chuck to demonstrate.
And we're gonna get our asses kicked.
Nah, that's cheat. That's food.
No way, bro.
That's food.
No, because you're gonna have me lined up on Shaq. It's a rapsy scapsy for me.
No, I got Shaq. Big ass.
Bro, it's a rapsy scapsy for either one of us. On Shaq?
That's food. Because by the time we get there, their asses will be 60. Food. That's lunch.
Shaq can still dunk.
That's lunch.
Shaq can still dunk, though.
That's fine. That's cool. Let him have it.
I can dunk.
We're playing make it take. We ain't missing.
That's cool.
Make it take. We ain't missing. They're gonna guard you and me in a pick and roll. Cap.
They might.
Nah, they can't play with me. I've said hard screen on Shaq. Sit out, little boy.
Pull up on Chuck from like 30 feet.
Yeah, sit out, Chuck, you stupid ass. That's why you'll never win a ring, Barkley. That's why you'll never win a ring, Barkley.
Yeah. And you know what Chuck's gonna say? When we propose that idea, he's gonna sit there and be like, come on, man. That's terrible. It's terrible, man. It's terrible.
Man. Yeah, we can beat them in the 2-on-2. Can't play with us.
Hey.
Bro, we're the greatest collection of talent this world ever
seen.
We're the greatest collection of talent this world ever seen. Me and you.
It's true.
Facts.
Greatest collection of talent and hopium.
Yeah, facts. We got all the hopium. We're really sitting here thinking the Phillies, a wild card team, we're going to beat an all-time Astros team. Yeah, we got the hopium.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. We had a shot. Made it interesting.
Made it interesting. Made it fun.
We got to run it back on the court though sometime.
Axe can't guard me. Chill little ass.
I almost dunked on you. Get out of here.
You ain't never dunk on me.
I could have. I almost did.
You can't. Don't play with me.
Give me like a month to get back in shape because I can't right
Give
now.
me 3 months. Give me 3 months. You up than me. You more up than me. I need to shred weight and get in shape.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem.
No.
I got all summer.
Facts. As soon as the weather warm up, I'm gonna start doing some shit.
Yep.
It's cold. I ain't going outside to do nothing. It's cold.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you.
Is that everything we need to talk about?
Huh?
Everything relevant?
I believe so. That's really it.
Word. Fuck yeah. Good show. Thought we had a lot to talk about. Here we are, ending at the 145 mark like we always do.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. It's been a day one pod. You already know what it is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. On a boat, on a bus, on a plane, on a shuttle, wherever you at. Leave a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Because it's going to dry up pretty soon. You know what I mean? The next 2 months are going to be a little slow, at least on that side of the screen, because this dude ain't going to commit to watching basketball. Yeah, lots to talk about going forward. 2 weeks until the Super Bowl. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe. I'll talk to y'all later.
Peace. Hey, listen, I told y'all, if y'all subscribe, I'll pay y'all we are gonna split the cost $1. Subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subs by the end of the NFL season.
When did we talk about this?
Last pod, bro. You weren't there. You were asleep.
$1. Okay, so my bread's just up. My bread's just up for gives now, huh?
yeah, bro.
Doing? All right.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Hey, we try to run these numbers up. Hey, listen.
All right.
If y'all want to run my boy Ren up, drop a sub, drop a like, comment under this video, your Cash App. We gonna Cash App you $1.
Do it out of the kindness of your heart, because homie broke. Do it out of the kindness of your heart.
Run the numbers up. We gotta get these numbers up.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. All right.
It's been real.
See y'all.
Peace.
Fuck the birds.